CEO of Trump Media and Technology Group, former California Congressman Devin Nunes. Congressman, great to have you back. We did have another congressman who was serving, scheduled to appear with you, but apparently he's doing some voting right now. I couldn't imagine on what.
Well, the good thing for you, Chris,
Steve
is it's
Scalise.
Friday, and I can handle you by myself. Like, there's nothing you're going to throw at me today that I'm not going to be able to answer. In fact, I predicted if McCarthy
hold on a minute, wait a minute.
we would be exactly in this position.
I know. That was a challenge. Hold on. Let me tee something up. See if you can handle this one. Steve Scalise ended his bid to become Speaker after failing to secure the votes to win that gavel. GOP is now scrambling to elect a leader. You know, I think the reason why the GOP has gotten to this point is because, unlike the Democrats, the GOP has no unifying principles, one or two principles that they are willing to use their leverage to get implemented into law. Am I wrong?
Well, look, let me first, I was telling this to my daughter the other day, that the Republican Party is made up of what traditionally maybe one would call rugged individualists. So I serve with people from all walks of life in the Republican Party. I mean, people who had been doctors, people who had started small businesses, farmers like me. There were all sorts of people who had actually went out and actually did something for a living. The Democratic Party now is one of a Marxist party. You either have old ancient Marxists that were in Congress or out partying in the 1960s before, Chris, I think even you and I were born, or you have these young trained Marxists like this squad that are out there celebrating the Palestinians right now, while at the same time they wave their LGBTQ flag, whatever, alphabet flags, which if they actually went there today into Palestine, into the Gaza Strip, with those flags, they'd be taken up to the tallest building and thrown off. I mean, these are Marxists, and they're not that stupid, Chris. They know on one hand they're trying to appease the supposedly the colonial movement against these poor Palestinians, while at the same time they want to please the LGBTQ, and they don't match, they don't mix. Like, one wants to kill the other, and these people aren't that stupid. No. So, look. What's going to happen with the Republican Party? It's real simple. Yeah. Like, you have to understand that it's a team sport. You need 217 votes. And traditionally how it's been for my whole time in Congress and going back for the last 100 years, whoever wins in the conference, so whether you win by 1 vote or you win by 100 votes in the conference, you go to the floor and you vote with that nominee. And if you don't vote with the nominee, then you're going to put yourself into a chaotic position, which is where we are now.
Well, it's exactly where we are now. And to your point, the Democrats are united in destroying the United States of America, destroying our Constitution. They're united in opening up the borders and allowing every Tom, Dick, and Harry, every terrorist across the border in the name of inclusiveness to victimize our people. They're united in that effort. And you would hope that the Republican Party would be united in stopping this. Let me give you a poll, Congressman. New poll revealing that only 15% of Americans approve of the way the Republican Party and their leaders in Congress are handling their job. The GOP, in the name of this concept, and you've heard it before, Congressman, I know, it's the big tent. They've tried to be everything instead of standing for basic constitutional conservatism. This has allowed left-wing influences to infect and sicken the Republican Party to where it's paralyzed right now. Isn't that a fair analysis?
Well, look, I think what you're looking at, and I never want to come on your show on Fridays and argue with you because I'm a big fan. But here's the deal. I think what people are reacting to there is most people don't want this chaos. I mean, they send the Republicans to, I was elected many times, and my constituents would send me there. And they don't want to hear about all the backfighting. They don't want to hear about all the nonsense. They want us to have leadership and do our jobs. And now, look, it's a very small majority. They only have a 4-seat majority. So I know it's difficult. But I do agree with you, and we've talked about this numerous times, and the gentleman you just had on there, I think, is making a very important point. There have got to be terrorists that are coming across that border. And I think it's a very simple thing that the Republicans should get behind. One is the border has got to be closed. And 2, the Department of Justice needs to get their asses to the border and actually enforce the border and not chase Donald Trump around, the leading Republican candidate, all over the country. Those are the 2 issues. Those are the only 2 issues that the Republicans need to worry about.
Look, agreeing with this host, by the way, is never a qualification for appearing on this program. That's number one. But I think there's a lot of wisdom in what you just said. Now, demonstrations, to your point, erupting in the Middle East and major U.S. cities after Hamas calls for a day of jihad, the FBI warning the public to be, quote, vigilant, and police, they're ramping up security nationwide. This is Joe Biden has allowed, as we articulated in the first segment, allowed millions of unvetted military-age illegal aliens into the streets in America. And here's the kicker, Congressman. Mitch McConnell and John Cornyn and 16 other Republicans needlessly voted to fund this effort. How concerned do you think Americans should be over this bipartisan threat to our national security?
Well, look, I heard today that the FBI and Democrats and the fake news, which are the propaganda arm of the Democratic Party, they're saying there is no threat. Well, what's the rule? Whatever they say, that it's the opposite. So that means there is a threat. I mean, Chris, there has always been a threat. The threats never went away. And now you've let in some 8 million people that have come across that border. Now, it's and I didn't know I knew it was over 100 countries. The gentleman that was down there at the border that you had at the beginning of the show, he said it's 160 countries. There's got to be. I mean, I saw it with my own eyes. I had somebody that was on my podcast. I saw with my own eyes, there were Chinese nationals, military-age men, hundreds of them. He had the pictures. He came on my podcast. And so, and then what is the fake news? They say, oh, only people at Truth Social and on places like Newsmax are talking about there's a terrorist threat. Folks, there's a terrorist threat. You don't have to be a genius to know that there is a terrorist threat out there. When you let 8 million people, you don't know who the hell they are, they just came across the border.
Yeah, nobody was talking about a terrorist threat before 9/11. And yeah, everybody was blissfully ignorant thanks to the aforementioned fake news press the day before 9/11. So look, Congressman, your point is well taken. Congressman Devin Nunes, it's always a great Friday, man, visiting with you. Thank you for being here.
It always is.
Straight ahead in the